Coming up on Cruisin, presented by Cruisin Times Magazine. We visit Loudonville, where car owners know exactly what they want.
I just wanted an old car, really.
Or not. Great-looking Buick must have been a lot of work.
Actually, almost nothing was done.
Aren't you lucky? Custom car builders always say.
I just got a little bit carried away with it.
This time you might be right. Ready to see some big dollar cars?
It is a big dollar car. 1 million in our eyes.
Well, sit back and enjoy. Cruisin, presented by Cruisin Times Magazine, starts right now.
Welcome to Cruisin. I'm John Shapiro, editor, Cruisin Times Magazine. We're in Loudonville, Ohio, doing the Independence celebration of classic cars. Come on along, let's take a look.
So my dad bought a 1968 Skylark, brand new, in 1968. And it was our family car for a lot of years. And I was 12, 13, 14 years old, and I would climb in the car. It was parked in our garage, and just dream about where I could go. There was no other car that I wanted to drive. So we did a minor restoration on that vehicle, and I drove it in high school, and he gave it to me at that point. I've owned it for 25 years afterward. So we started the restoration on the original Skylark that my dad owned and I owned when I was 16. Unfortunately, it was a little too far gone. And we made the heart-wrenching decision at that point to not do the restoration, not put our money into a vehicle that really, in the end, would not have been worth it. So we sourced this vehicle out of Texas, built it, started the build in 2010, finished it in March of 2011, invited 140 people to the motorsport shop, brought in a band that's been here many times before called Remember When, and unveiled it to my dad at that point.
How was that for him?
Speechless. I brought him to the motorsport shop under the pretense that they were having a demo day. And he saw the tent outside and several banners that we had put up. And I saw, oh, Dad, it's just the vendors doing their thing. We walked in and Gerald from Remember When met him at the door singing one of my dad's favorite tunes. He couldn't talk. It was an amazing moment.
Let's go by or kind of around your car a bit. Tell us about the motor, interior, any special things you've done.
Actually, almost nothing was done because I wanted as true to original as I can. I fully appreciate fully customized vehicles, resto mods and the like, but I'm really a purist at heart. So the motor is unmolested. It has been rebuilt. Still has it's 350 with a Rochester 4-barrel. The only upgrades or customizations on the vehicle are 17-inch ion wheels. We did take the vinyl off the roof. The 68s and 69s come standard with vinyl. And we decided to go that route because it would show a little better. It is painted with a GM hot red paint scheme, same paint that's used on the Corvettes. Again, that was a choice to present a little more pop to the vehicle.
Original interior?
This is absolutely 100% unmolested original interior.
It's in great shape.
Absolutely. We relented a little bit on some of the customizations, and I'm really, really happy the way it's come out. We've done well at shows, get a lot of looks. It's they only build this model in 68 and 69, and you just don't see many of them. I can't be more pleased. I get tickled when my son gets excited and he wants to get up early to come to shows with me. When he says, Dad, give me a rag, I got to clean the chrome, got to get the tires looking good. It's a good thing. It's going to be his car when my dad gave it to me, and I'm giving it to my boy.
Kim Little and a Huffmobile, what's year, 28?
1928.
And you've had it how many years?
I've had the car 40 years.
And you've been married how long?
23.
So, so I hate to say which came first. So it looks like the Hupmobile, right?
Right.
So tell us how you found it and the whole story.
I was looking for a Model A. As a paper boy, I used to help a gentleman up in Shelby, Ohio with his Model A's and wanted one. Later on, when I could start to afford one, a fellow says, I think I know where there's one, or maybe it's a Plymouth, and I just wanted an old car, really. So went out, was able to negotiate a purchase, and then really got digging into it and found out, no, it's not a Plymouth, because it was not recognizable what it was. Without some research, then we found out it was a Hupmobile. As far as we know on this car, this would probably be on the higher end because it has all the upscale options available at the time.
And what are those options?
Mainly the wheels, the straight 8 engine. The Caliban design was a part of Hupmobiles trying to sell the car, but then by having dual side mounts, the luggage rack, the trunk available at the time, those are type add-ons that they did. The mohair, English mohair interior was a standard, and we duplicated as close as we could to the original. So,
now it's a straight 8.
it's a straight 8, and at the time Hupmobile was the biggest manufacturer of straight 8 engines.
And how much horsepower?
Oh, I've got 67 horsepower.
And this thing weighs how much, though?
Right around 3,000 pounds.
Man, that is the coolest. Big headlights. Now, there's a special award you just won, I noticed, on the front of the car.
Right. We just competed for the first time nationally, and we were able to obtain a national first place award.
That's in the AACA?
Yes, it is.
I mean, was it very difficult to find the tires? I mean, they're huge.
The tires, actually, I waited longer than I wanted to because at the time I was looking for tires, the white walls, front to back, were two different sizes because I'm running 20-inch wheels on the front and 21s on the back, and they made them different size. The manufacturer had told me, wait about 3 more years, we'll get that straightened out to be the same size. So I did that, and to get the car to balance just the way it should be.
And kids today think the new 20-inch wheels are the latest thing, and you guys have had them since the beginning.
Right.
Where do you take it? Everywhere, or what's your furthest driven?
We don't really drive the car too much. We trailer it. Now that we're into looking for national points, stone chips, that type thing, will cost me points. So we do trailer, you know. I'm known as a trailer queen, that's okay.
That's all right, that's a beautiful car.
If they've ever been to a national event, there's over 400 trailers, and every one of the cars came out of a trailer.
Coming up,
It took her 50 years to get a ride in our Jeep.
see why it took so long next on Cruisin', presented by Cruisin' Times Magazine.
Pour in performance with DEI. New DEI Radiator Relief. Specially formulated to drop engine temps up to 30 degrees. Improve thermal transfer. Anti-corrosion protection. Engineered for all cooling systems and additives. Now get pour in performance and run cool with DEI.
Welcome back to Cruisin', presented by Cruisin' Times Magazine.
This Jeep is getting more attention than the big dollar cars here at this Loudonville show. Tell us about it.
It is a big dollar car. 1 million in our eyes.
Now, where'd you find it?
This one we found 7 years ago on eBay in Iowa. But when we were 16, this is my twin sister Nancy. Our parents bought it for us, one just like it for us. And we had it all through high school, college. Then we got married, it was impractical, we sold it. So when we found this on eBay, we said we need it back.
And tell us about your, some of the accoutrements you've picked up over the years.
We got our dice at Detroit at the Woodward Dream Cruise. They had black dots, we took them off, had to put pink diamonds on them.
Now, get to some history of this. It's actually a Surrey.
The model is a Surrey. They made them between 1959 and 1963. They made 1,083 of them. We've only found 16 in existence right now. I'm sure there's more. They came in the pink, well, they called it Tropical Rose and Coral Mist. And then they had a baby blue and white stripe, and they also made like a mint green and white stripe. They were made for the resort industry. Big hotels in Hawaii, Acapulco would buy fleets of them, and then they'd rent them out to their guests. So we feel like we're in paradise every time we get to drive this.
And how did you wind up in it in high school? Where did you get it from? A hotel?
Oh, it was amazing. No, we were going to our aunt and uncle's house down at Cedarville. And we were driving through Columbus, and there sitting in a used car lot was a pink striped Jeep with fringe on top. It had a heater, but not much of one. But one thing I know, she was lots of fun. We wrote a whole poem. But it was sitting in this used car lot.
On New Year's Day.
On New Year's Day.
And on the way back from Cedarville, Dad stopped back and bought it. And we can't figure out, was he carrying that much cash around?
I mean, how much was it?
$1,200. New, they sold for $1,812. It was about a year old when Daddy got it. And
it's got to be the first Jeep with hubcaps. This is
cool
original.
Hubcaps, yeah, everything. 99.9% probably is all original.
And it's a Willis.
Yes, a Willis.
Jeep.
Yes, yes.
Was it made in Toledo?
Yes.
Now, since then, have you had to do anything to it since you found it?
The only thing was gas tank. It was rusted. Couldn't find one, so they had to take it out and line it with something. But no major mishaps or anything, so.
The fringe or the Surrey, it's the fringe on top deal, huh? You know, I mean, it's the, it came that way.
Came that way, yeah.
And that handy dandy little, looks like an air device in the front of the...
we call that our air conditioner.
No radio,
we
no
sing.
Power steering, no power brakes. We got muscles.
Just muscles.
When did the addition of the umbrellas and...
Well, we had to stay cool. So when we saw pink ones and kind of fringy...
Pardon the pun, cool.
Yeah. And they look very tropical, and that's what these were made for, so it was the perfect match. And the reason we wear pink, in case we get lost in a car show, they know where to return us to.
Oh my God.
Because we're aging.
So we're here on the, so actually you could say we're here on the beach of Loudonville.
Yes. Next time we'll bring sand. We went to our class reunion 4 years ago, and of course drove it. People remembered it.
And they all wanted rides.
One girl just said from our rival school, where my husband went to school, it took her 50 years to get a ride in our Jeep.
Have you named it?
She's the Candy Clipper 2. And our dad named her the first time, so we call her Candy.
Let's visit Cruisin Marketplace. Tough Stuff Performance Accessories. All Tough Stuff products are quality made in Cleveland, Ohio using 100% new components. Tough Stuff has a complete line of underhood accessories for the custom and hot rod market. All Tough Stuff products meet or exceed OEM specifications. For more information, visit toughstuffperformance.com or call 1-800-331-6562. Ultimate Headers. Big tubes for tight places. The last set of headers you'll ever have to buy using 321 stainless. UltimateHeaders.com. Call 440-234-9600. Cyclone Transmissions for street machines, hot rods, and everyday drivers. Call Rich at 330-639-1137. If you'd like to be a part of Cruisin Marketplace, give us a call. Call 330-697-4155 or email Mark now. info@cruisin.tv. Coming up.
Those are actually...
What? Exactly what? Stay tuned to find out on Cruisin, presented by Cruisin Times Magazine. Now, back to Cruisin, presented by Cruisin Times Magazine.
Marion, 1939 Buick never looked like this in 1939. What did you do to it, and was it an original owner buy, or?
It was like the second owner buy, and I just got a little bit carried away with it.
No, you did good.
I subframed it and narrowed the rear end and did a lot of chassis work to start. And I built the gas tank because I didn't want a fuel cell, so it's underneath and it's stainless, polished of course.
And then you got some more custom modifications. I mean, I'm looking at what? The headlights, tell us about that, and the hood.
Well, the headlights, I hate to tell you, but they're out of a Ford. Most people don't realize
What year?
that. Those were out of a Ford Probe.
Now, obviously, they didn't have a sunroof.
They didn't have a sunroof, and of course, when I chopped the top and took the post out, you have to add material because the front goes forward and the back goes back. So you have to put material in there. Well, by putting the sunroof in, it just made me less fill area. The sunroof was actually out of a Pontiac, a Grand Prix.
Now, towards the rear of the car, you continued your hidden taillights.
They're out of a Cadillac. I ended up taking the Buick brake light, which was in the trunk, and made that into turn signals and my third brake light. Rewired it and put double filament bulbs in it.
That is ingenious. I've never seen anything like that. It looks like just your regular emblem. All of a sudden, the brakes come on, turn signals.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a regular emblem and everything.
You did the, as we've seen, the suicide door treatment.
I did the suicide doors because I wanted something different with the suicide, and I put the late model latches so they won't fly open. So
yeah, good for you. Give us, what about the dash?
Well, the dash is pretty much stock as far as appearance, but I put Stewart & Warner gauges in it. The cover on it is plexiglass that I heated and formed for the radius of the panel that's around it. Originally, that would have been flat glass.
Those are the coolest looking mirrors.
Those are actually motorcycle mirrors.
Oh.
I was figuring on putting mirrors on it in that area, so I went with heavier steel in that particular corner of the door so that I could mount the mirrors on there and didn't need to worry about bending anything, or would hold them, be strong enough to hold them. So.
What about the blue? Tell me the paint.
The blue is what they call octane blue pearl. And there's a lot of pearl in it, and there's no purple whatsoever in it.
Octane, that's a perfect name for this.
It's called octane blue pearl, and it's like octane. It's very expensive.
Coming up on Cruisin.
It's a 30 Ford grill, but the cab is a 35 or 36 Ford.
A hot rod with an identity crisis. Next on Cruisin, presented by Cruisin Times Magazine.
Get cooler performance with Dei Protective Boots. Slide over spark plug boots and wires to shield and protect against extreme heat. A universal fit for most straight and angled applications. Dei Protective Boots. Available at O'Reilly Auto Parts and other performance dealers.
Now, back to the 14th annual Loudonville Car Show on Cruisin, presented by Cruisin Times Magazine.
It looks to me like a 34 Ford, but it's what?
John, it's a 30 Ford grill, but the cab is a 35 or 36 Ford cab.
And then the bed?
Piece it together. The side panels, John, are 34 Ford.
And where'd you get them? Where'd you find them?
The body came from, we found it in Roundup magazine, and the body came from someplace in Colorado. I believe it was Windsor, Colorado. And the side panels from the bed, we found it at the Canfield swap meet.
And did you, I mean, you bought the body unseen or what?
Just a little black and white picture in Roundup, John, and the guy I bought it from seemed like an honest fella, and we took a gamble, we took a shot, and it's just what he said it was.
All right, the frame.
Bought it from a friend up in Pittsburgh. It's a 1940 Ford frame.
So how'd you get it so low in the front there, I mean, as far as the body?
What I did, John, I channeled the body down over the frame. I don't know exactly how many inches, but I set it down over the frame, and I seen where I liked it.
and that's where I start to put the floor in.
And then what seats, you had to lower those, I guess?
Okay, the seats, John, are mid-60s MG, and really didn't do anything with them, just bolt them to the floor. There's no, no sliders to get it just a little bit lower, to get a little bit more lower that way.
And your wife drives it, so what'd you do to accomplish to get her for a steering wheel? And
John, it's tilt and telly wheel, and that helps to adjust it for her.
Yeah, so rather than moving the seat back and forth, you just move the steering wheel back and forth.
Right,
and you're
John.
in. Yeah. Motor-wise?
John, it's a bone stock. It's from Summit. It's a 260 horse 350 bone stock.
And a mechanical fan, and I believe, I'll guess,
electric fan up front for a backup.
But I'll guess it's the stock radiator. Is it pretty close to being old? It looks old.
John, it's a stock 34 radiator. I had gone over it. It's been pressurized, and that's what we've been using.
How about the front fenders?
John, we found them at a swamp meet. Guys tell me they're from Harleys. I really don't know bikes at all, but that's what people have been telling me, they're off of Harleys.
Instead of paint, what'd you do?
John, Marcia,
Marcia's your wife?
Yes, she took the paint off and all the residue and whatever, and I put urethane clear over top of it. She did all this. She did all the hard work on the body.
Is that cool? And she lets you drive it?
Once in a while, I can drive it.
Oh, it is a sight to behold going down the road and seeing you come at me, I'll tell you.
Thank you, John.
I've seen it everywhere, you know, and I've often wanted to talk to you.
Thank you.
And boy, just a tough looking truck.
Thank you.
Well, that puts a wraps on another explosive episode of Cruisin'. I'm John Shapiro, and we're at Loudonville. We want to thank those folks here at the Independence Celebration and Car Show, and we'll see you next time on Cruisin'.